Days of Our Lives spoilers for Monday, August 11th reveal that Marlena Evans will tackle a new patient, while Sarah Horton Kyriakis tells Brady Black that she's sorry for crossing the line. After Sarah witnessed Xander Kyriakis' kiss with Gaby Hernandez at the bistro, she retaliated by planting one on Brady. That'll stir up even more conflict on Monday's duel episode, but Sarah will apologize in the aftermath. Sarah will realize she made an impulsive move without caring whether Brady was okay with the lip lock, at least in that moment. Now Sarah will worry she's messed up her friendship with Brady, but he may promise that it's all good. Brady might even admit the kiss was nice, so he may not be against Sarah doing it again at some point. That said, Brady may want to make sure they're smooching for the right reasons the next time around. Meanwhile, Day's spoilers say Gaby will scold Xander for how he handles the whole situation with Sarah and Brady. Gaby will push Xander to move on with his life, but he'll continue to struggle with complex feelings for Sarah and all his inner fury. Since Xander agreed to attend anger management counseling with Marlena, he may be the new patient she tackles on Monday's Day's episode. Xander definitely has a serious rage problem, so we'll see if Marlena can help him get it under control. As for Belle Black, Day's spoilers say she'll refuse to budge when it comes to her new perspective on EJ DiMera. Belle has washed her hands of EJ, so he'll wallow in misery since he blew up their relationship over a mistrial play that didn't even work. At Kat Green's place, Chad DiMera has been taking care of her since she's feeling sick. Kat seemed pretty out of it due to the cold medicine when she planted that kiss on Chad, but he probably enjoyed it anyway. Kat might get embarrassed over this lip lock eventually, but she may fall back asleep for now. Since Kat's been having some unsettling dreams, Chad may worry about those and grow suspicious of what's on her mind. Days of Our Lives spoilers say Kat will try to keep the news of her EJ mission under wraps, but Chad will inevitably get updates on the truth sooner or later. Days of Our Lives spoilers preview for the week of August 11-15 reveals that Johnny DiMera will fire his dad, while Marlena Evans admits she may know who shot EJ DiMera. Rachel Black will also panic over her worst fear, so here's what Days fans can expect. On the witness stand, Belle Black will force Rachel to answer some difficult questions about the night of EJ's shooting. It'll leave Rachel terrified that her testimony will be what sends Johnny to prison. EJ will also have a private conversation with Belle, who said he was dead to her after his courtroom betrayal. Belle will stand by that statement and insist she never wants to see EJ again, so he'll throw a temper tantrum after she walks out the door. Once court is back in session, Days spoilers say EJ will play hardball with Kristen DiMera as she testifies as well. It'll eventually be Chanel Dupree DiMera's turn on the stand, but Johnny may not approve of how EJ handles things since he's about to kick his dad off the case. "I've got 2 words for you. You're fired," Johnny says sternly in Duel's weekly promo. Back with Belle, she'll confront Marlena and push for a confession. Belle will suspect that Marlena knows who shot EJ, so Marlena will admit she's indeed developed a theory. There's a good chance that theory will be based on EJ's next hypnosis session, and perhaps some clues from Rachel. Will Marlena have a hunch that Rachel pulled the trigger and blocked that part of the story out? Other Day spoilers say Sophia Choi will open up to Ariana Ari Horton about nothing turning out the way she thought it would. Sophia has been jumping through a ton of hoops to keep the baby truth under wraps, so she's been stressed to the max. Since Tate Black and Holly Jonas have reignited their romance, that's been tough for Sophia to handle too. Ari will urge Sophia to embrace a new beginning, but Sophia will latch onto her feelings for Tate and try to break up his relationship with Holly instead. Over with Gwen von Lochner, she'll push Sarah Horton Kyriakis buttons and gloat about Xander Kyriakis moving on with her. Sarah might throw it in Gwen's face that Xander was kissing Gaby Hernandez recently, and wonder if Gwen's sure about that. Days of Our Lives spoilers say Gwen will make some strategy updates along the way and hope for some Xander reunion news, so stay tuned. The truth about who shot EJ may finally come out if this week's Days of Our Lives preview is to be believed. Plus, is Sophia about to have a change of heart, along with a change of plans? Exactly what Kristen and Brady wanted to avoid happens when Rachel is put on the stand to testify that she saw Johnny aiming a gun at his father the night EJ was shot. Naturally, Rachel breaks down later and fears she just sent Johnny to prison. However, EJ has more tricks up his sleeve later in the promo. Belle confronts EJ, who reminds her that she stated he was dead to her after his little stunt trying to get a mistrial declared by exposing their love affair. Belle lets EJ know that he's not only deader than dead to her, but she never wants to see him again. Sophia spots Holly hanging out with Tate and admits that nothing is turning out as she had thought. What did she think would happen when she plotted to give her baby away? That Tate would stay with her? Given Tate's been unknowingly fawning over his son in Leo and Javi's care, might Sophia scheme to get the baby and Tate back? After a bizarre kiss-a-thon last week, Gwen lets Sarah know that Xander's moving on. With her. Back in court, EJ puts his sister Kristen on the stand, and then later, Johnny utters two little but very important words to his dad. Finally, just like any great Marvel movie, the spoilers keep coming after the promo appears to end. Belle confronts her mother and discovers that Dr. Evans has been hiding another secret, other than the one involving her health issues. Marlena knows who shot EJ. I think we all know who shot EJ, and it's none other than Rachel, whom Marlena's protecting. Days of Our Lives spoilers reveal that Susan Banks keeps sensing Stefano DiMera. While the woman claims she can now speak to the dead, it's likely not Stefano she's sensing. Could it be someone else who is close to the DiMera family, though? Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the Peacock soap opera. Let's start off with Susan, who suddenly returned to Salem. Chanel Dupree DiMera hoped she would help solve the case of who really shot EJ DiMera. Instead, Susan wasn't much help at all, besides running around town accusing Gaby Hernandez. Then, Susan claimed that she now sees dead people. So far, no words or messages from Stefano, though. It seems that Johnny DiMera is relying more on his father's legal representation rather than on Susan's magical powers. Over with Marlena Evans. She's been having a tough time since John Black's death. The psychiatrist has been collapsing in public and seems to take a lot of naps. She's also not eating as much as usual, but Sarah Horton-Kyriakis said that everything was normal. Marlena's dreams about being the Queen of Night. However, that storyline featured Stefano. Clearly, Mascolo cannot come back as he passed away. At one time, the soap said they wouldn't recast the character, and I hope they stay true to their word. Remember, Susan also said that there was a sickness in Marlena's body, mind, and soul. That could just be grief, though. What are the chances that it isn't Stefano that Susan is sensing, but someone else? At one point, I thought Janelle might be pregnant, but now I have a different theory. What if the reason why Susan is getting a feeling from Stefano's portrait is because someone is hiding behind it, like in the DiMera tunnels? There are so many secret rooms that someone could hide in there for months without being noticed. In fact, I think it's happened a few times already. All joking aside, it's very possible that Stefan DiMera could be lurking nearby. Tony DiMera and EJ both mentioned him recently. Fans know that Vivian Alamain just couldn't stand for Stefan and Gaby to reunite. So, she had Stefan kidnapped and left behind signed divorce papers for Gaby. He's been name-dropped several times now. So, could Susan be sensing Stefan? But has he changed? It would be just like Vivian to brainwash Stefan into doing her bidding, so stay tuned. Days of Our Lives spoilers are in for Monday, August 11th, 2025. Fans can expect Marlena Evans to take on a new patient. Chad DiMera takes care of a sick cat Greens. Plus, Sarah Horton-Kyriakis apologizes to Brady Black. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the Peacock soap opera. Let's start off with EJ DiMera, who tried to get a mistrial by exposing his relationship with Belle. The judge didn't fall for the trick and warned both of the attorneys not to mess around in her courtroom again, or they will be in contempt. Afterward, Belle raged at EJ, then left the courthouse. Even though Belle said that EJ was dead to her, she's said things like that before. Belle's problem is she can never seem to sever the connection between her and EJ. It seems the madder she is, the more she wants him. Over with Gaby Hernandez, she will lecture Xander Kyriakis. It's clear that Xander still loves Sarah very much. However, they are in divorce proceedings and can't seem to get along. Then, Sarah and Brady walked in to find Gaby kissing Xander. The doctor tried to be mature about it, but ended up kissing Brady instead. Gaby will lecture Xander on the way he handled the whole situation. Of course, Xander doesn't realize that Gaby is playing him to get intel about Titan. Days of Our Lives. Spoilers for Monday, August 11th reveal that Sarah will issue an apology. The doctor will try to explain the kiss to Brady. However, I have a feeling that Brady totally understands and gets it. Brady went through something similar in the past. At the same time, what does the kiss mean for Sarah and Brady? Will they fake a romance, or could they start to develop real feelings for one another? Meanwhile, Chad will take care of Kat. While she and Felicity Green both have high fevers, Chad is still going to take care of Kat. With her having a fever, she could mumble some truth bombs without realizing it. That could have Chad asking Kat a lot of questions when her fever breaks. Could she let something slip about her ISA assignment? Another possibility is that Kat might mumble her feelings for Chad. So, either possibility makes for an awkward conversation. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Monday Onion, August 11th. Hint that someone will get a slap on the wrist, while two characters bond, and there are some very bad explosions on the horizon. What's set to go down on Monday? Time to find out. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Monday, August 11th suggest that Gaby Hernandez will reprimand Xander Kyriakis. So is this about their kiss, or the aftermath of the chaos that came because of their lip lock? Speaking of, Sarah Horton Kyriakis will also apologize to Brady Black. So is this about her reaching for a kiss, or Xander's reaction to it all? Fans will have to tune in to find out. Across town, Chad DiMera will tend to Kat Green as the young woman hasn't been feeling well. It sounds like the two will bond in the process, but how steamy could things get between them? In other news, Marlena Evans will get a new client. In light of Xander's recent outburst, will he finally visit the therapist to get some help on his anger issues? From the looks of it, he needs some assistance on how to keep his temper in check. Lastly, Days of Our Lives. Spoilers for Monday reveal that things will get heated between Belle Black and EJ DiMera, but not in a good kind of way. Added teasers imply that Belle will lash out at EJ for his latest stunt, and as he announced there was a conflict of interest because of their romance, in the middle of their court case, she'll be furious. With that said, how many times will EJ pull these types of moves, and how many times will Belle forgive him? She may finally have reached her peak, but only time will tell. What are you looking forward to most during Monday's show? Comment below. Jen Lilly may have left the role of Teresa on Days of Our Lives in 23, but the actress has kept busy since departing Salem. Now comes word that Lilly has landed a role in a new film, Jimmy. The actress will be portraying Gloria Stewart, the wife of actor James Stewart, who will be played by Riverdale alum KJ Apa. Lilly announced the news on her Facebook page, posting, "I am so excited to share this news. If you already love James Stewart, just wait till you see this movie." I laughed, I cried, and I was deeply inspired just reading the script that honors his life so well. He lived a truly wonderful life, and I know this film will impact you the way movies should, but so rarely do anymore. Jimmy and Gloria shared one of the most precious relationships of all time. She was a wonderful person, mother, wife, and friend, and I cannot wait to bring their love to the big screen. Mark your calendars for November 2026, because we're going to the movies. America! The film follows the journey of Pennsylvania native James Stewart, charting his ascent to Hollywood fame and his Oscar-winning performance in The Philadelphia Story. His career was interrupted when he joined the U.S. Army Air Corps as a combat pilot at the onset of World War II. After returning home, Stewart took on one of his most iconic roles in Frank Capra's 1946 classic, It's a Wonderful Life. Stewart shared one of Hollywood's most enduring love stories with his wife, Gloria Haytrick McLean. The couple married in 1949, and their union lasted until Gloria's passing in 1994. A former model and actress, Gloria brought a sense of grace and strength to Stewart's life. She had 2 sons from a previous marriage, whom Stewart adopted and raised as his own, embracing fatherhood with pride and devotion. Despite Stewart's immense fame, he and Gloria led a relatively private life, away from the Hollywood spotlight. They were known for their deep bond, shared values, and commitment to family. Stewart often spoke fondly of his wife, crediting her with being the emotional anchor in his life. Their marriage stood as a symbol of loyalty and love in an industry often marked by fleeting relationships. His daughter, Kelly Stewart Harcourt, is an executive producer on the project. Principal photography is set to kick off on September 1st in West Cork, Ireland, with backing from the Screen Ireland Nationwide Fund. Burns & Company Productions plans to release the film in U.S. theaters in November 26. Are you excited to see Lili tackle the role and see the sparks fly with KJ Apa? Sound off in the comments below. Days of Our Lives spoilers for August 11 to 15, 2025 tease trial turmoil after things took a turn in court this week. Julie and JJ both wondered where a missing Chad was. When Felicity told Chanel her sister was missing, she brought her to the police station to report Kat missing. At the hospital, Julie and Marlena discovered Chad and Kat were stuck in the elevator. When they were saved, Chad and Kat were found holding each other. Sammy returned and reunited with Marlena. Sammy shared her grief about John with her mom. Then she reunited with Johnny. Xander dreamed about being back together with Sarah, then met with Gaby, who tried getting closer to him. Johnny defended Sammy to Susan. Sarah revealed to Marlena that she can't find a cause for her symptoms. Rafe began training Kat. Sophia talked with Melinda about keeping up her lie. Then Tate later admitted to Sophia that he wants to meet his daughter and the adoptive parents. Later, Tate ran into Leo with Tesoro, and Leo let him hold him. Paulina worried about her upcoming testimony at Johnny's trial, while Gaby vented to Leo and Rafe about having to testify. Later at the trial, Paulina was forced to reveal that Johnny said his father got what he deserved, while Gaby recounted what she heard that night. Xander asked Alex to find her was investigating them, so he turned to Steve, unbeknownst to him that he is who's investigating Titan. Gaby continued getting herself closer to Xander. Anna returned and reunited with Tony before questioning if Stefan could still be alive. EJ and Belle secretly hooked up at her room at the Salem Inn during recess from court. When court continued, EJ asked Johnny to reveal his relationship with Belle, requesting the trial get thrown out because of it. When Sarah and Brady spotted Xander and Gaby kissing at the bistro, Sarah pulled Brady into a kiss as retaliation. After Chad took Kat home when she started feeling unwell, he took care of her, and his TLC ended with Kat pulling him in for a kiss. Things turned disastrous in court when Belle lashed out at EJ for his legal play, while Marlena comforted and upset Johnny. Another week, another popular star returning to Days of Our Lives. Here's the soap's latest comings and goings casting news. Find out who the fan favorite is, as well as if any new performers are boarding the Peacock drama in contract, recurring, or day player roles, and if any actors or actresses are exiting the show. A beloved actress is back filming at Days. The soap and Sal Stowers shared the news via a sweet Instagram reel, specifically a video of Stowers blowing a kiss to the camera from the studio parking lot, along with the caption, "It's always a beautiful day in Salem." Stowers, who's played Loni Price Grant on and off since 2015, made her last appearance in December 2024. Due to the show's advanced filming schedule, viewers will have to wait several months to see her. She's not scheduled to air again until spring 2025. Alice Halsey gets more screen time as Rachel Black on Tuesday, August 12th and Thursday, August 14th. She interacts with her TV parents, Stacey Hayduk's Kristen and Eric Martsolf's Brady, and Lindsay Godfrey's Sarah. Timothy Horner has been cast as Adam, Leo's juror roommate, and a major Body and Soul fan. He shares scenes with Reichardt and Al Calderon's Leo on Friday, August 15th. Carolee Foreman is back as Judge Dabney. The character continues to officiate over Johnny's trial this week. Allison Sweeney wrapped up her Salem visit as Sammy Brady DeMera. The character has returned to Italy to join her daughter, Sydney. If you blinked, you missed the return of Sammy. I think it took the character longer to travel to Salem than the amount of time she was there. But it was nice that she was able to come back and pay her respects to John. Chad and Kat got stuck in a hospital elevator overnight. Julie was royally pissed when she and Marlena heard the two in the elevator together. And while there were a couple of moments where it seemed they were going to kiss, that didn't happen until later in the week. Chad was helping Kat because she got sick, and when he was near her when she was snoozing on the couch, she opened her eyes and kissed him. Boy, you thought Julie was mad this week. Wait until that comes out. Xander and Sarah's story is starting to get out of control. Gaby, who was working Xander for information under the guise of flirting, ended up kissing him in the bistro. Who should walk in and witness this? None other than Sarah and Brady. Then they kissed. What is going on here? EJ tried a daring move in court. He asked Johnny, who was under oath, to explain what his relationship was to Belle. Johnny had no choice but to reveal that EJ and Belle were an item. EJ then tried to use that information as grounds for a mistrial because she was having a conflict of interest. I thought it was a brilliant move, but the judge didn't fall for it, and Belle dumped him right in front of her. I would have thought that Belle would consider that a brilliant move, but instead, she put him in the doghouse. And the big thing this week was that, while Susan's not closer to finding EJ's shooter, she definitely felt Stefano's presence and danger around Marlena. Even Sammy had a flashback where she said to John that Stefano would be in their lives forever. And Susan warned Johnny and EJ, Dr. Marlena Evans has gone back to the dark side. She later bumped into Marlena in Horton Square, and her powers seemed to start going haywire, which was cool. She worried that something was somehow draining Marlena's blood. But she was confident that it wasn't a vampire, so what could it be? There was mention of Abigail this week, so I ask again. What the heck happened to Abigail's body? Does no one care? Nobody's mentioned it or even looked into it. Yeesh. After Felicity told Johnny and Chanel that Kat was missing, Johnny went to see his mother, and Chanel took Felicity to the police station to report her missing. As everyone walked away, you could see that litterbugs Johnny and Chanel left their empty coffee cups on a table in Horton Square. Shame on them. While Chad and Kat were in the elevator, they fell asleep. Kat started saying, "No, stop it, stop it!" I wonder if this is related to her past experience with the EJ. Even though she was just an analyst, they were sent out in the field. Perhaps she was kidnapped by enemies and tortured. There was a lot of talk this week about someone pulling a FOIA request on the Titan-Demera merger. Turned out it was Steve who did it, but that's irrelevant here. I looked it up, and FOIA requests are usually for government issues, not private companies. Unless the company has some government contracts or ties, a request like that would not be possible in the real world. Julie asked JJ if Chad's kids were at Harry Potter camp. In the unlikely chance someone doesn't know who or what Harry Potter is, it's a series of books by J.K. Rowling about the title character who lives a horrible life until he finds out he's a wizard. It was turned into a successful movie franchise with Daniel Radcliffe as Harry, a role that propelled him into stardom. Both the books and the movies are well worth checking out, as they get darker as Harry grows and must battle the forces of evil. A little while later, Gaby came into the kitchen, moving with purpose. She had her hair up and was wearing a sleek dress. Leo remarked, "It's like Laura Ingalls Wilder has risen from the dead." See the next section for Rafe's reaction. Wilder was the author of the Little House on the Prairie series of books, which were based on her life. She was portrayed on the TV show of the same name by Melissa Gilbert. Kat met with Rafe, and he agreed to give her a combat refresher. So they put up their dukes, ready to practice some moves, and it was just a cool shot. It should be used to promote the show. Once again, Tony's wearing a sharp suit which has a subtle plaid pattern on it. His matching vest and white shirt provide a nice contrast with his tie that has an almost red sunset-looking pattern on it. He's also got a red handkerchief in his pocket, making the whole ensemble just pop. When Julie and Marlena realized that Chad and Kat were in the elevator calling up for help, Julie angrily asked, "Is that Kat green?" Marlena intervened and told Kat they had called for help. Julie then yelled down, "Yeah, and in the meantime, keep your hands off Abigail's husband." The skydiving instructor elevator repairman saw Chad and Kat when the elevator door opened, and he said to them, "You two, you just can't stop taking the plunge together, can you?" When Johnny informed Susan Banks that Sammy was back in town, she said, "Sammy Brady is back here? Ugh, everybody in Salem better just gird their loins, huh?" Then EJ walked in, and she added, "Especially you, son." Back when people wore loose clothing like robes, girding one's loins was the act of securing it around the waist if you needed to do physical activity like combat or labor. Thus, the literal act of preparing for action became a metaphor for getting ready for any challenge. She was worried that Sammy was obsessed with the EJ. He calmly replied, "Mother, I assure you my loins, along with the rest of me, are perfectly safe from Samantha." After seeing Chad and Kat clutching each other when the elevator opened, Julie was rather abrupt with them. Marlena convinced her to walk away and said, "Julie, I know that you're not fond of Kat, but maybe you could try to hide your disdain." Julie replied, "I did." Marlena just blinked and looked at her incredulously. Julie then thought about it and said, "Well, perhaps that wasn't my best effort. But I have never seen such a conniving woman since Gaby Hernandez fornicated her way through my family." Leo was moaning and groaning to Rafe about how the Spectator article about Johnny's trial was terrible. He said that it was an absolute travesty, devoid of any human element. I mean, you have a son on trial for shooting his father being represented by said father at that trial. This should have our readers plotzing, not dozing off. Gaby was giving Leo guff, and he said, "You know, I thought we really connected when Ari was missing, when I was so compassionate and comforting, and showed you what a lovely and caring person I was capable of being." She responded, "Ah, when you're not being an insensitive nincompoop, you mean?" Belle happened to bump into Tate, and they were talking about how Sammy was back in town, so Belle decided to sleep at the Salem Inn until her sister left town again. Belle explained that Sammy was mad at her for prosecuting Johnny, and Tate reasoned that she had no choice because it was her job. Belle replied, "Oh, well, pesky little things like logic and reason don't really matter to my sister." EJ told Johnny to keep his eye on the ball, and Johnny found the baseball reference amusing because that was John's thing. When their conversation ended and they prepared to return to the courthouse, EJ said, "So let's go hit it out of the park." Johnny cringed and said, Okay, Dad, I hate to tell you this, but you don't really pull it off, the whole baseball metaphor thing." EJ chuckled and said, "Whatever you say, slugger." An awkward moment, to say the least. Tony told Anna that he noticed some of their liqueur was missing, stating, "Well, I swear there was more left of this Taylor's 1970. Anna hilariously responded, Well, maybe a spirit got into the spirits." He laughed and added, "Oh yes, a dipsomaniacal ghost must have indulged, of course. That's the logical answer." Okay, here's a wild one. Gaby revealed to Xander that she was a witness at the trial because she'd gone to the DiMera mansion with a gun the night of the shooting. Xander then said, Well, I will ask the all-too-obvious question, knowing full well that the answer is unlikely to be in the affirmative, since the person being interrogated, aka you, would undoubtedly not care to incriminate herself with the likes of the interrogator, aka me, someone she barely knows and trusts even less, I imagine. She replied, "Speak English, would you?" When Leo referred to Gaby as Laura Ingalls Wilder, Rafe just looked at him like he didn't even understand what the former con artist was going on about. Gaby said, "Leo, shut up. I'm testifying today." "I'm sorry, but I don't think I could be trapped in an elevator all night, with no bathroom available." The guy who rescued Chad and Kat from the elevator also happened to be their skydiving instructor. What a small world. They pulled a fast one on us when they made us think Xander and Sarah made up and slept together, but it just turned out to be a dream Xander had. When Anna revealed to Tony that Susan Banks felt Stefano's presence, that might have put the kindly psychic in danger. If Tony turns out to really be Andre, and he's on the verge of somehow bringing Stefano back, he might want to get Susan out of the way before someone starts to believe her. Tony assured Anna that Stefano was most sincerely dead, but he's probably lying. I'm convinced that Stefano, or at least his consciousness, is in the secret sub-basement of the DiMera mansion. And further, I believe that Andre is the one who's preparing to bring him back. With the advanced state of AI and robotics these days, I wouldn't be surprised if Stefano's mind was brought back in the body of an android. Gaby's working hard to get in with Xander so she can report back to Tony with info that will tear apart the Titan-DiMera merger. However, I think she's starting to fall for him, so when the time comes to overthrow Xander, She's going to switch sides. IMHO. Allison Sweeney reprised her role as Sammy Brady on Days of Our Lives to bid an emotional farewell to her late TV stepdad, John Black, played by the late, great Drake Hogestyn. Soap Central is bestowing Performer of the Week honors on Sweeney for her brief but powerful return to Salem. Sweeney and TV mom Deidre Hall dove into the heartfelt emotions as soon as Sammy and her mother reconnected. "I'm so sorry, Mom. I'm so sorry I wasn't there to hold your hand," Sammy lamented about her absence. Veteran Days fans recall that Sammy and John shared a strained dynamic once John and Marlena renewed their romance, breaking the heart of Marlena's husband, Roman. Sammy grew to love her stepdad, but that didn't happen overnight. "I was so mean to him, all the time," Sammy lamented. "I hated him for loving you." At the time, Sammy was angry at John because he represented the end of Roman and Marlena. Now, Sweeney brings the perspective of an adult to her character and sees John through a different lens. "It was so unfair," Sammy said. "No matter what I said, he was always there for me. He treated me like a daughter." Sweeney showed how much Sammy has matured by recalling her troubled teen years. "I used to smirk and roll my eyes when he would call you Doc," Sammy shared. "I would give anything to hear him say that one more time." In addition to playing Sammy's grief, Sweeney got to tap into her character's protective maternal side as she reunited with her son, Johnny, who is on trial for the attempted murder of his father, EJ. In an emotional moment, Sammy reminded Johnny that he was named after John. "I'm just so glad you got to have so many years with him," Sammy said before embracing her boy. Days didn't have the actress for long, but the show made sure her episode was emotionally charged. Sweeney delivered with every emotional heartbeat the show asked her to play. Sweeney's return to Days of Our Lives would not have been complete without checking in on her son. However, the main thrust, Sammy coming to terms with John's passing, dominated the episode. Sweeney rose to the challenge, reminding viewers of John and Sammy's complicated relationship. Her tears and the quiver in her voice showed just how much Sammy truly did love John. In a flashback, Sammy recalled being immediately defensive when she talked to John about Lucas's proposal. When John informed Sammy that Marlena would be happy over this, Sammy burst into tears. John pulled her into a supportive hug. "I would do anything to get one more big hug from you," Sammy said, clutching a photo of John to her chest. When Sammy was alone, Sweeney delivered a powerful monologue when she thanked John for his big heart, kindness, and his tough love. Holding his photo, she apologized to John for blaming him for her insecurities. It's not often that people get to say these things in life. Saying goodbye to John Black would not have been the same without Sweeney returning for this emotional episode. "Thank you for showing me how to be strong and brave," Sammy shared. Marlena's daughter recalled another emotional moment in which she and John bonded as Sammy faced her mortality after Franco's murder. Putting her mortality aside, Sammy asked John to watch over Marlena. "Now it's my turn," Sammy promised. "John, you can rest easy knowing we're all here, and we're going to take care of Mom for you. I just want you to know that you will always, always live in my heart, and that's a fact." Kudos to Sweeney for making the most of her return to Salem, as she showed a mature and caring side to Sammy. The willful and impulsive teenager we love to hate is now a caring mother and daughter whom we love to love. The action in this Days of Our Lives spoilers video preview for the week of August 11th begins in the courtroom of Johnny's attempted murder trial as his young cousin Rachel takes the stand. District Attorney Belle Black, her aunt, is the one questioning the young girl. "What happened next, Rachel?" Belle asks as the young girl looks on with fear. What she is scared of becomes apparent when the action switches to the Brady pub, where Rachel is with her mother, Kristen, and someone else, possibly her father, Brady, whom she faces as she's heard tearfully asking, "What if Johnny goes to prison because of me?" As she flashes back to that night is shown, with Johnny holding a gun and Rachel standing behind him. Belle is at the Dimera mansion, paying her former boyfriend and opposing counsel EJ a visit. In the courtroom, "You said I was dead to you," he tells her, hopeful that she may be there to take it back. "Believe me, you are. I never want to see you again," she tells him before storming out. Visibly distraught, he bangs his hand on the desk in anguish. "Nothing is turning out the way that I thought it would," Sophia tells someone unseen as the scene switches to show Tate and Holly locked in each other's arms as they kiss. Gwen is in Horton Town Square talking with Sarah about the man they both have loved, Xander. "Xander's moving on. With me," she tells the woman soon to be his ex-wife. Will this be the news Sarah needs to reconsider taking her husband back? Back to the courtroom, EJ has Kristen on the stand. She eyes her brother carefully as he approaches her. Next, Johnny takes a moment to speak alone with his father, who is also his lawyer. "I've got 2 words for you," Johnny begins. "You're fired." See it all for yourself in the preview video below. Let us know what you think is going to happen in the comments section, and be sure to check out our first look gallery for a sneak peek at what's happening on all the soaps this week, including Days. Fans of Loni Price Grant have some good news coming their way. An Instagram reel posted jointly by Days of Our Lives and Sal Stowers showed the actress walking in the studio's parking lot and blowing a kiss to the camera, signaling to fans that the popular recurring player will be making another appearance in Salem. "It's always a beautiful day in Salem," the actress wrote in her caption. Stowers made her Days debut back in 2015 after a 2013 turn as Cassandra Foster on the short-lived internet reboot of All My Children. Her Salem alter ego, Loni, arrived on the scene as a new cadet at the Salem Police Department, who believed she was the daughter of Abe Carver and his ex-girlfriend, Tamara Price. It was later revealed that Loni was actually the daughter of Tamara's sister, Paulina, and a dangerous man named T.R. Coates. After the secret was finally revealed, Loni killed her father to protect her mother. She served time for the crime and now lives with her husband Eli and their twins, Jules and Carver, in the D.C. area. Living out of town hasn't stopped Loni from visiting when her mother or half-sister Chanel has needed her, and Stowers most recently visited to the canvas in December 2024. In a 2024 interview with Soap Opera Digest, Stowers shared her thoughts on making more Salem comebacks in the future. "Lamont and I have definitely talked about it," she noted. "We've always kind of kept that in the back of our minds, because we do love the show and we do love these characters. So definitely, in my mind, I hope to return. Anytime I do get that call from Marlena Saita, Days casting director, or an email asking, 'Hey, are you interested in coming in for this?'